MIT, Stanford, CMU. See you guys next video. I'm just kidding. If picking a robotics school was that easy, everyone would be building Boston Dynamics robots in their dorm rooms. There's a lot more that goes into how good a college is for robotics than just Googling best college robotics. And before anyone starts fighting in the comments, this list is not ranked from best to worst. This is just me breaking down what I think each school is good at. Because robotics isn't even a major at most schools. It's the clubs, research, and classes that makes robotics robotics. I'll be looking into real factors that actually matter, like professors, research labs, industry connections, startup culture, surrounding tech ecosystem, and class workload. First, in the West Coast at the heart of Silicon Valley is UC Berkeley. So let me break down what robotics looks like there. You got the Berkeley AI Research Lab, and they're doing some wild stuff. Peter Abil's lab co-founded Covariant, a warehouse robotics company that just got acquired by Amazon and had their AI picking and packing 10,000 plus different items at 99% accuracy. They also built the Berkeley Humanoid. This bipedal robot learned to walk from scratch using reinforcement learning, then students took it hiking on unpaved trails. Let's just say it looked a little bit drunk. But consistent iteration and improvement is what robotics is all about. And I think Berkeley provides a fair share of that, being classes are systems focused, you're learning how software and hardware and AI actually integrate, and you're 20 minutes away from every startup in Silicon Valley, like 1X, Figure, and many more. If you want to become a systems level robotics engineer, I think Berkeley really can't be beat. Okay, so clubs and build, 8 out of 10. Professors and research, 9 out of 10. Industry connections, 10 out of 10. Startup culture, 9 out of 10. Location, 10 out of 10. Overall, 9 out of 10. Next is CMU. They're not just good at robotics, they literally invented the field. Like actually, the first robotics department in the US in 1979 was at Carnegie Mellon. The Robotics Institute isn't a lab, it's a way of life. They built Chimp, a 5'11" humanoid that got 3rd place at the DARPA Robotics Challenge. They built Boss, a self-driving Chevy Tahoe that won the 2007 DARPA Urban Challenge. Students built Iris, a lunar rover the size of a shoebox that literally launched to the moon in 2024. They also just opened Robotics Innovation Center in Hazelwood, a 50,000 square foot indoor testing space with a drone cage the size of a warehouse.
It's free real estate.
Undergrads can take classes on humanoid perception, bipedal walking, robot simulation, and these aren't lectures where you take notes and leave. You build, you test, and you break stuff. And that's what robotics is all about. So no wonder when every major robotics company hires from CMU, like they're not even subtle about it. So if you want full robotics immersion, CMU is one of the strongest ecosystems on earth. That is if you can deal with being in Pittsburgh. Okay, clubs and build, 9 out of 10. Professors and research, 9 out of 10. Industry connections, 10 out of 10. Startup culture, 7 out of 10. Location, 5 out of 10. Overall, 8 out of 10. There's always an Asian out there who's more cracked than you. Yeah, I'm talking about MIT. MIT doesn't just teach robotics, it straight up defines the modern engineering culture. 2 MIT students, Ben and Gerald, built a robot that solves the Rubik's Cube in 0.38 seconds.
3, 2, 1.
That's like faster than I can blink my eyes. And get this, they did this as a side project, so we'd just be doing everything now. The Robot Locomotion Group does humanoid control, dynamic walking, and aggressive aerial maneuvers. CSAIL has labs working on manipulation, tactile sensoring, and sim to real-life transfers. They're training robots in AI-generated environments, being able to accomplish 100 days of experience in 3 hours of actual time. Classes like robotic manipulation and under-actuated robotics are known for its legendary difficulty. So, you know the workload there is brutal, the labs are intense, but the access at MIT is unmatched. So, MIT is for people who want pressure, intensity, and access to world-class robotics labs. Clubs and build culture, 10 out of 10. Professors and research, 10 out of 10. Industry connections, 10 out of 10. Startup culture, 9 out of 10. Survivability, 4 out of 10. Overall, 10 out of 10. ABG heaven, I meant Stanford.
Leave me alone!
Stanford. No glaze, but this place is downright beautiful, and the people here are even more beautiful. But here's the thing, Stanford's power isn't just in its curriculum, it's the ecosystem. The startup culture here is insane. Berkeley and Stanford are honestly quite similar in this regard, but the difference is since Stanford is private, the resources each student can access is far greater than Berkeley. Google started here, Instagram started here, Snapchat started here, but for robotics, they're just getting started. Zipline, the autonomous drone delivery company doing medical supply drops in Africa, founded by Stanford alums. Neuro, self-driving delivery robots, founded by 2 Stanford PhDs. Sim Robotics, inventory robots in Walmart, Stanford. Students don't just learn robotics, they build companies. Research-wise, they're pretty cracked too. Professor Jeanette Boggs' lab built DexCap, motion capture gloves that teach robots complex hand movements. You wear the gloves, do a task, and the robot learns it 3 times faster than teleoperation. The environment is what sets Stanford apart. Robotic startups everywhere, tech companies working everywhere, VCs walking around campus. Everyone here is basically a founder. So if you want robotics plus AI, clubs and build culture, 9 out of 10. Professors and research, 9 out of 10. Industry connections, 10 out of 10. Startup culture, 10 out of 10. Location, 10 out of 10. Overall, 10 out of 10. Georgia Tech is a builder school through and through. At the Institute for Robotics and Intelligent Machines and at Sehon Has Lab, GIT students build robots and program motion-based controls for bipeds and quadrupeds. At Yi Xiao's LiDAR lab, they work on dynamic-legged locomotion. Georgia Tech students developed EgoMimic, a system that teaches humanoid robots housing chores by watching first-person videos. Like you basically wear meta glasses and you do your laundry, and the robot learns from your perspective, which is one of the smartest ways to get easy training data. RoboJackets is one of the biggest robotics clubs in the country. They compete in RoboCup soccer, BattleBots, and they host competitions for high schoolers. And Atlanta is starting to become a legit tech hub. So I think Georgia Tech is an amazing place for people who want to build cool stuff. Clubs and build culture, 10 out of 10. Professors and research, 9 out of 10. Industry connections, 8 out of 10. Startup culture, 7 out of 10. Location, 8 out of 10. Overall, 9 out of 10. Michigan has some of the worst weather in the country, like actually brutal. Snow in April, random ice storms, gray sky for months, but somehow they're insane at robotics research. Maybe the cold makes them tougher, I don't know. But Michigan's got some serious autonomous vehicle research. They built M-City, a 32-acre fake city on campus, specifically for testing self-driving cars. They literally built a fake town with fake buildings, fake intersections, traffic lights, and UMich is even working directly with Ford, GM, and Toyota. Damn, give me an internship, bro. The Robotics Institute also has labs doing drone swarms, aero manipulation, and multi-robot coordination. That's some scary stuff to think about. Drone swarms was basically only in sci-fi a decade ago.
Inside here is 3 grams of shaped explosive.
With strong engineering programs, solid lab access, and Detroit for connections, Michigan gives you a pretty good balance of theory, systems, and applied robotics, if you can handle the brutal weather. Clubs and build culture, 8 out of 10. Professors and research, 9 out of 10. Industry connections, 8 out of 10. Startup culture, 6 out of 10. Location, 6 out of 10. Overall, 7 out of 10. UT Austin is one of the most underrated robotics schools in the country, and here's why. It's because their robotics program is really new. They literally just revamped entire buildings for robotics, and I've actually been lucky enough to work inside and even post a video on a general purpose robot that I built. With brand new labs, new equipment, new facilities, they're investing heavy. UXZoo's Robot Perception and Learning Lab just released RoboCasa. It's a massive simulation framework for like they're simulating kitchens, living rooms, entire houses so that robots can learn to do chores. UT graduates even founded Abtronic, which just raised $350 million for humanoid robots. And they're building Apollo, a humanoid that's going to work in warehouses and factories. And they're based in Austin. The Austin tech and startup scene has been growing for the past couple of years. Tesla's Gigafactory is here, SpaceX is here, Oracle just moved their headquarters here. Startups, AI companies, robotics companies, they're all moving to Austin. So I think UT Austin's robotics is about to pick up some serious steam in the next couple of years. And I'm not saying that just because I go here. UT gives you great engineering, industry, and startups in one place. And I honestly think that it's just getting started. Clubs and build culture, 7 out of 10. Professors and research, 8 out of 10. Industry connections, 8 out of 10. Startup culture, 9 out of 10. Location, 8 out of 10. Overall, 8 out of 10. If you're currently doing VEX and want to continue in college, Boiler Robotics is the biggest and most well-known VEX youth team in the world. If you don't know what school I'm talking about yet, it's Purdue. Purdue is a builder and robotics competition school through and through. They've won worlds a couple years back and they maintain pros, one of the largest open source robotics operating systems. And the Purdue SIGBOTS wiki gets 40,000 users a month. The other clubs, such as the Autonomous Robotics Club, runs RISE, America's largest student robotics expo. They also have a humanoid robot club working on space exploration humanoids, RoboMasters competing internationally, Railside Robotics doing BattleBot style combat, basically a lot of robotics competitions. Classes emphasize practical engineering, clubs fabricate, test, break, and rebuild robots, so there's a very strong mechanical engineering culture here. So if you grew up building robots in your garage or competed in high school robotics, Purdue is a great choice. Clubs and build culture, 8 out of 10. Professors and research, 7 out of 10. Industry connections, 7 out of 10. Startup culture, 5 out of 10. Location, 6 out of 10. Overall, 7 out of 10. Before we end, I have 2 honorable mentions, Caltech and Olin. Olin is an amazing builder school, and Caltech is straight cracked at research and has absurd talent density. But they're too small to make the main list, so I didn't include them for this video. Okay, so now it's time for the final scores. You can pause the video to get a better look at them. But anyways, if you guys learned anything new about these schools, such as clubs or professors, please leave a like and subscribe. If you want to see videos like this in the future. My final advice is don't pick based off of the name, don't pick based off of the US news rankings, think more and pick based off of the environment, access, and workload.